Obviously disappointed with the result, but I think, as a learning experience, I think in the longer term it would be a great thing for us. It will shows us a level, that the top teams in Europe are competing at. It gives us a benchmark, and I think, there was loads of positives within that.
Anything specific, positive and negative wise?
I think the level that we need to be at, we need to try and achieve. I think, some of the lads within the game enjoyed the challenge, and some aspects that we did well, and also a lot of aspects we've got to work on. So, just continue learning about ourselves and learning about the team, and try to compare ourselves against the best.
How did the new boys fit in?
I thought they did well. I think it's really difficult. John's only had a couple of days training, Emerson's had maybe 3 or 4, and then to go in and against that level of opposition, I think it's really difficult. But I think they both did well. They're both very talented footballers. We're lucky to have them here, and we're fortunate that the clubs have trusted us to take them and aid their development.
You said that's the level you need to get to. How do you get to it then? Because there's been a lot of talk in the last week about just spend more money. But what's your view on how you get to that level then?
I think it's a gradual process. I think money plays its part. You look at Red Bull, and they've obviously spent a lot of money from their pitch to their stadium to their training ground to their players. So they've done it very quickly, but a massive amount of investment. We've not got that level of investment, so we've got to do it with smaller steps. So we've got to look to improve as we go, and I think we've done that. I think over the last 18 months we've improved. We're going in the right direction, but when you've got 8,000 fans travelling to watch a friendly, it puts you under more pressure, and it's a good pressure, and that makes it different because so many people care about it and so many people want it to happen yesterday. So that's the thing that makes Rangers different.
How much more investment does your squad need at the moment?
I don't think it's a matter of putting a number on it. I think it's continually trying to improve, and it's not purely investment. It's got to be good investment, and it's got to be in the right areas, and it's got to be hopefully improving the team. But it's difficult because of the money that's around elsewhere and who you're competing with, and the English market's inflated, and then you've got a Chinese market that's challenging that. So it's very difficult to spending money doesn't guarantee anything.
Do you expect to bring more in this month?
Possibly. I don't think John and Emerson were the main targets. We tried to do that relatively quickly, which we've done, and we're really happy with that. But as it stands, I think we're relatively happy.
The supporters obviously got glimpses of them yesterday, but you know John quite well from before. What can you expect from him this season?
I think John's creative. He's talented. He's a goal scorer. He's a good footballer. Fundamentally he's a good footballer, and he'll adjust to the style we play. He's played in our style before. He's been successful in the English Championship. He's played abroad. He's an Arsenal player still, and will be for the future. So the level of the player is very, very good, and we know he'll fit into the way we play. Emerson the same. Eddie Howe's very good, giving us, trusting him with us. He's very talented. He went for a lot of money in the summer. And I think he's came because the style we play is similar to the style Bournemouth played, and I think that's a massive advantage. So 2 players who understand the system, who are the types we like, both as people and as players, and hopefully will help us get better.
Is there also a hope, David, that the arrival of these guys brings out the best in the players that you've already got here in terms of competition? So
I think that's the way things work. It's the same as the game yesterday. You're challenged. The level gets higher, and you've got to rise to that challenge, and that's the challenge to the players within the games and with the players that we try and bring in. We try and bring players in who are going to challenge them and help them, and the fixture that we had yesterday was exactly the same. It's a challenge, and you've got to rise to that challenge. That's what it's about, and push yourself all the time and question yourself.
Generally, how beneficial do you think the break's been? I mean, do you feel you're going to see a better Rangers after the break than the one we saw before?
Well, that's the plan. That was the point of the game. We could have gone away and could have had a break, and we just felt that the best learning for us was to go and play a difficult game. We felt like go and challenge the players, go and challenge us as coaches, go and give the supporters a trip to enjoy. And we knew it was going to be difficult. We knew it was going to be a difficult game to get a good result for us, but we knew that long term it would make us better. So that we felt that was the best case. Time will tell for the rest of the season, and obviously that starts on Saturday.
What about the Scottish Cup then? You've won it as a player with a couple of clubs. Given what happened last year, is there a real desire to get back and maybe right the wrongs?
Definitely. There's always a desire to get to cup finals. You can't get enough of them, and this club was built on that. league titles and cup finals, and we did well getting to the cup final last year, but obviously the disappointment of the result, remains with you, and that disappointment spurs you on. And this group of players, which is a new group of players, want to experience that, but obviously experience the upside of it rather than the downside of it, because it's a long summer after you lose a cup final, and the disappointment of that remains, and it's still there. But the only way to right that wrong is to try and have a successful run this year.
An all Premiership tie as well. How tough will it be?
It'll be tough. All games are tough, because the opposition always make it difficult for you. We've played Motherwell twice already. The games have been really close. The first one we won, but it was really tight, and the second one we needed a last-minute goal to win it. So all games in this league or within the league, are tight, and the teams make it difficult for you. They're very organised. Mark McGee's an experienced coach, and they've got good players, so it'll be a difficult day.
Just take you back, you were talking about bridging the gap and the balance between money and various things, and I'm looking here, it's the Rangers Youth Development Company you're trying to help today. Do you look at Everton, for example, and see the young players they had playing yesterday? And I know you might not have saw the game, but are they the benchmark when you look at bringing through young players? You've been at the club, is that a good way to go? Absolutely,
and Everton have got a great track record of bringing through young players, but they also spend money on young players. Mason Holgate played yesterday, they spent money bringing them in, and Tom Davis has came through the ranks, who's a very talented player, and there's younger players behind him who are going out on loan, who are playing in the under-23 development league, who are playing abroad in the youth tournament. So Everton are doing it the right way. They always have done, and they always produce players going back, Wayne Rooney and Francis Jeffers, Jack Rodwell. They've done it for years and they're doing it right, but they invest money and they give the people who are working their time to do it, and they bear the fruits of that. It's not a quick fix. It's a process that's gone on for years.
How aware were you of Tom Davis? Because there's been a lot in the last 24 hours about him and his performance.
Not a great deal, to be honest. I've seen him play, and he's obviously a very good player. And when I was there coaching, he was one of the younger ones, so that wasn't really aware of him. But lots of players in that group, and a little bit older than him. But him individually, I don't know.
Do you feel the future's bright then for Everton, looking at the result yesterday?
That was a fantastic result to go, and as you said, I haven't seen the game we were playing, but I watched it today, and it's always good to see Everton win, and the future is bright. They had a sticky spell just before Christmas, but started the season really well. But they've got some really good players. They've got a top manager, and it's a fantastic club. So they're competing in a tough league because of the money that's available at the top end of it. But they can compete. There's no doubt about that, and they do it in their own way.
Just sticking with the theme of youth football, have you seen changes, progress in the 18 months that you've been back here in the youth development of Rangers?
Definitely, it's a long process, and you look at our under 20 games. Sorry, last week we had 17-year-olds playing in the team. We had a 15-year-old playing. We had 16-year-olds playing, and that's the only way that we can do it. We've got to, as we did in Red Bull yesterday, challenge ourselves. They've got to challenge themselves as well. So they've got to play against older players, more experienced players, and learn quickly to develop and to become players who are capable of playing for Rangers. There's no shortcuts. There's no quick fix. It's just a matter of continually being challenged and rising to that challenge and enjoying the challenge, which is the biggest part of it.
You mentioned the unique pressures at Rangers, or unusual pressures, where you get 8,000 fans going to friendly, and obviously you're under pressure to win every game. Is it making it difficult for you to introduce any young players to the first team?
No, if they're good enough, they'll play. It's just a matter of them being good enough. That's the case. It was the same last season. We had Liam Burke, we had Jack Thompson, who were in and around the first team, and they earned that right. We've got to continually improve, and ideally we improve by bringing in young players that are already at the club. That's the perfect solution for everyone. But you can't do that if it's not the right thing. They've got to be good enough, and the players that are playing there, the young ones, have got an opportunity. So it's up to them to rise to that challenge and improve and test themselves, and we've got to make sure that we provide them with those tests and give them the challenge, and give them the environment also which enables them to do that. But fundamentally it's down to them to rise to that.